you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you?
I'm really good.
Oh, that's really good.
It's a nice day today.
It is. It's really nice, and it's getting hot, and I hate it.
Yeah, it is getting
I freaking
hot.
hate it. Like, I don't like living in Las Vegas. This is going to be a hot one, you guys.
It was pretty hot last year.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like last year because I didn't like it.
I know. I'm just very thankful that I have cooling seats in my car now.
That's super nice.
Game changer.
I need those.
You need those. Everybody in Las Vegas should have one of those.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the summertime. It's
no.
hell. Like, oh my God, why am I losing my voice? I'm going through puberty or something. That was weird. But it's hell. We live in hell.
It's fine. It just killed my tree last year, but it's fine.
Oh, that's really sad.
It's trying to grow back, but
it's hard here. It's hard.
But anyway.
Yeah, anyways, we are going to just kind of jump into this week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're new here, my name is Skee.
And I'm Jules.
And welcome to Oh My Gosh.
What?
And today's episode is going to be really fun. Do you want to tell them what it's called?
Yeah, it's called The Files of the Unexplained.
Ooh. This is a fun one because Jules and I love this kind of topics.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about conspiracy theories, glitches in the Matrix, the Mandela Effect, all the nerdy things.
Yeah, all the stuff that we aren't really sure if it's real or not.
But but I'd like
plausible.
Yeah, but I'd like to believe that it is all real.
Right?
Because I love a good conspiracy theory. I'm like, yes, that has to be it. Like, what else? Alien abductions, of course.
Of course. There has to be aliens.
Yeah, so I'd love to be able to touch on all the things, but we're just going to talk about a few things, and we're just going to see how the conversations go.
Yeah, there's so many things. When I was doing research for this episode, there were so many conspiracies, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know how.
But your research is way better than my research, I think. You have way better.
I don't think so. I think I went through where I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so many things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not going to get into all of them because we just don't have time for that. So maybe at a different time, we'll do another episode.
Yeah.
But for today.
But I thought that the first thing we could talk about is the glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
So I know that you have had a little bit of experiences, some weird
glitchy things.
And a weird dream too that I think that you should talk about.
Okay.
That it makes me feel like it was a glitch in the Matrix. So why don't you explain how you feel about glitches in the Matrix, maybe more about what it is, and then talk about that dream, because I think that was something else.
So to me, glitches in the Matrix are basically periods in time where you either transition into a different time period, or you see the future in some way, or something where it's just like very familiar and doesn't make sense to normal individuals, but it's just a feeling that you get.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've read a lot of things, and I've been on TikTok, down the TikTok rabbit hole, just listening to people talk about different things that have happened to them as far as glitches, or different times where they remember their past lives.
Oh, yeah.
Even as children, or they remember kind of being in a certain place and then time jumping into a different place.
Yeah, some of the things that I did pick up about the glitches in the Matrix were, it was like objects vanishing, reappearing, that feeling of deja vu, which I think we've all have felt before.
Yeah.
Unexplained coincidences, like when you're thinking about someone and then you just happen to run into them the next day.
Oh, yeah. And that happens to me all the quite often.
Yeah. It says people or objects disappearing and then reappearing out of thin air. I can't tell you how many times I will lose something knowing that I put it somewhere, look in that place, and then I go back and then it's there.
It's just, it's unexplained.
Or, exactly. And then it says unexpected or illogical behaviors, timeline jumps, unexplained or impossible knowledge. So many things. But let's talk about your dream.
Yeah. So I had this dream, and this was probably maybe 3 months ago. And I'm really good at knowing that I'm in a dream. I've just always been that way. And sometimes I can control them, and sometimes I can kind of just go with the flow or be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
So in this dream, it was very specific because I was in my house and I woke up in my bed. I walked out of my house, or not my house, I walked out of my bedroom and I turned the corner and I saw my son, who is 9 right now, but in my dream, he was a teenager. And I recognized him as my son. Like I knew, oh, this is Xander for sure. And he was talking to me and I was just kind of freaked out because I didn't understand why he was grown up already.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm going to take off and hang out with my friends. And he like took the keys and was going to go drive somewhere. And I just thought, this is really weird. And Danny's looking at me and I don't know if he had timeline jumped with me or if he was just already in that timeline because he was acting like everything was normal. So I'm turning the corner out of my bedroom and I look around and my kitchen is the same for the most part. There was just a bigger table.
Yeah.
And my dining room, there was the bigger table, and my living room looked the same, but we had a different couch.
Yeah.
But we had a similar color scheme to everything. And then we had like wallpaper and we had stuff on the walls that wasn't normally there. Everything was the same but different.
And then
like
updated. And then in this dream, you're thinking, "What the fuck?" Right?
Yeah, I was like, "This is so weird."
Yeah.
So then I turned the corner, and we have this play area where my daughter mostly hangs out, but her play area was completely the same, and that's what kind of tripped me out the most about it was because everything had changed but her area, and I didn't see her until a little bit later in the dream, but she was still little.
So she stayed the same.
Yeah.
And her area stayed the same.
Yeah.
So it was almost a mix of two different
realities
or timelines that were like
merging together.
Yeah.
So I went into their room and they have a shared space right now because we're redoing one of our rooms in our house. And my kids' room was different. There was different stuff all over the walls. It just looked kind of like a teenager's room.
Right.
And I thought, this is so weird. And I saw this ticket to a concert on a wall in his room. And I was trying to read the date, but I couldn't because all of the numbers were jumbled.
That's crazy.
I know, that's weird because I was controlling where I was in the dream, but nothing was making sense. Like I couldn't see letters and whatever, or numbers.
And it's weird that for whatever reason you were not able to see the date.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you can't see this.
Yeah, almost like
access denied.
Almost like, you know, when you see, like, let's go back to that movie, The Matrix, where everything's just kind of like moving really fast.
Right.
That's how I felt the numbers were.
That's crazy.
They were just jumbled and glitching and moving really fast.
Weird.
And I thought, I wonder if I can't see this because I'm not supposed to see this.
Yeah.
But when I woke up, I had this super weird feeling of, I just looked into like the future of that. And I even talking about it right now, I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because I just feel in my soul that that's something I'm going to see when it happens. And I'm going to think, I had a dream about this. And that's freaking weird. Yeah.
It's going to be like a deja vu thing. You're like, I've been here before.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt.
That's crazy.
I know.
I have a crazy story too, where we had a timeline jump, me and my husband.
Okay.
And this is very bizarre. So we were living in Kansas at the time, and we were just married. You know, we were young. And I remember we were on base and we got pulled over by a cop. He pulled us over because our registration was expired. Mind you, we're young. We don't know anything. So I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, pull over. He goes, you're going to have to find a ride home. We're going to take the car. So we, you know, me and my husband are all pissed off. We have to call for a ride. His friend picks us up. And for some reason, me and my husband don't remember anything after that. And we don't remember how we even got the car back. We just remember like it got done.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Both of you remember that?
Yeah, and the weird thing is I remember his friend coming to pick us up. We were right by the gate of the entrance and exit on the military base. And we were getting ready to exit. So I remember his friend coming to pick us up. I remember getting into the car, but I don't remember getting the car back. I don't remember how we got the registration. none of that. And he doesn't remember it either. It got done. And we talk about it all the time.
That's super weird.
Is it that me and him both don't remember? Because I remember thinking, as you know, I was 22, this is stupid. Why do we have to get registration? And I remember thinking, I have to call my mom. Like, this is like dumb. And it got done, but we don't remember how it got done. We don't remember how we got, because they took the car from us.
Yeah, so it's like, how did you end up getting your car
and we don't
back?
even remember where the car went.
That's so
like,
weird.
was it still on base? Was it in a towing? Like, we don't remember any of that.
That's so weird.
But it's weird that it's both of us. It happened to both of us. We have the same memory of remembering getting into the car, but after that, it just got done.
It just timeline jumped.
We timeline jumped.
That's the only explanation.
It was bizarre.
That is super weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Especially because it wasn't just you.
Yeah.
You know, you could pass it off as, it's whatever.
Maybe or like, I can't believe I can't remember that. And he does. Yeah. But we both have the same memory of just both getting in the car, being annoyed. And then, we just don't remember.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and it was weird because a few years later, I was telling him, we were talking about that because I think it was time to, renew our registration, or maybe it was a year later. And I remember telling him, like, how did we ever get that car back? And he goes, I don't remember. And then we were talking about what we remember, and it was the same.
Wow.
It was almost like we got abducted.
I mean, maybe.
You know what I mean? And then we just don't remember anything after that.
It's very possible.
And it was on a military base. And on the military bases, it's always like the weird, I don't know,
creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other glitch in the Matrix stories you have?
I don't have anything that was as specific as that dream. I have had times where I've been somewhere and I get that rush of like, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Most recently, I was at a party with my coworkers and we had like a little, we all dressed up like food.
Yeah.
So it was around Halloween time.
Yeah.
And I remember standing in my friend's dining room and I had this rush of, I've been here before come through me. And it was so intense. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Because that's kind of how I feel deja vu is.
Yeah.
When you have it, it's like, okay, your timeline is going in the direction that you're meant to. Yeah. And it's a reminder that, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. That's how I think of deja vu.
That's really nice.
So, yeah.
Nice way of looking at that.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last time that deja vu happened.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What about you? Do you have any other times?
No, but I, for some reason, will meet people and I'll think, I know this person. I can't figure out. And then in my head, I'll be like, I think this person's name is like Brenda, for example. And then their name is Brenda. And I'm like, how the fuck did I know that?
That's
and then
weird.
I'm trying to figure out, how do I know them? And then when I'm trying to ask them, like, how do we know each other? Like, did you live here? What school? And then nothing's matching. And I'm like, how did I do that a lot. I'll know your name and I'll feel very connected to you, but I have no idea.
That's so
weird.
Or
sometimes I'll meet people, or I have friends that I truly feel like I probably have known you in another lifetime.
Right.
Like, I feel that connected to a person that, I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, I know that we probably had a past in a lifetime somehow. I don't know what we were, but I feel that connected to you that I know that we had something.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I've had a few instances where people have met me and they thought they knew me from somewhere and I'd never met them before.
Wow.
So I think that's really weird too.
Oh, you know what is weird? I do have a weird story. We went, I've showed this to you before, but the listeners don't know. I went to Washington, D.C. with my husband when we were dating, and we were in the Treasury building, and I'm looking at this painting, and it was a painting of me. I swear to God, it looked exactly like me, this picture of me.
That's super weird.
It was a woman from like, I don't know, the early 1800s. It looked exactly like me. And I'm so mad at myself, and I still beat myself up because I should have figure it out. Like, who was this woman? Who did this painting? I should have asked questions, but I was so freaked out that I took a picture of it and then I left.
I was going to say, do you have a picture of it?
I do have a picture of it. So I'm going to put it up on a video. If you watch our YouTube, cross promoting here, I'm going to put it up on our YouTube.
Maybe we could do an image search.
Yeah, well, I tried doing that. And then this is the weird thing, is I've done an image search and then it's different. It's the same woman in the same dress, but her face is different.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do remember you showing me that picture.
Yeah, and
now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, and now every time I've shown people the picture, they go, "Oh, that does look like you."
Yeah. But I feel like you have doppelgangers.
I get that a lot.
There are people.
Maybe because I'm Jewish. We all look the same.
Well, that's not what I was that's not where I was getting at.
No, I do. No, I've gotten that a lot, which makes me feel sad. I'm like, I'm supposed to be unique.
But
right?
On the opposite side, I feel like I don't really have any doppelgangers.
No, yes, you do.
Who?
I took a picture with you at the airport. Remember?
The back of my head picture?
It was the back of your head doppelganger.
That does not count.
But she looked like you. I go, oh, look, I'm with Jules.
I remember the back of the head picture, but I don't know if that counts.
Yeah. That looked like you, though. It was really funny. I'm like taking a picture with some rando. She has no idea. I'm doing a photo shoot with her at the airport. I'm like, hurry, Kyle.
That's
take
not
a picture.
Creepy at all.
Not creepy at all.
But I feel face-wise, I don't have anybody that I feel like I'm a doppelganger with, that I've found so far.
Yeah. So. Well, I also get Barbara Streisand.
Oh, yeah.
I get that a lot.
1,000%.
One time we were at a cheer competition and Jordan, my oldest daughter, Jordan, there's like a picture of Barbara Streisand in this bathroom and Jordan goes, that woman reminds me of someone. And then I go, I don't know, me? And then I like turned my profile and she goes, oh, it does look like you.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
The fact that she was like, that reminds me of somebody, instead of being like, that reminds me of you.
Yeah.
It's somebody familiar, but...
Your mother?
The person who birthed you?
Me?
I don't know.
But I do get Barbara Streisand a lot.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, glitches are weird.
Yeah, and I think we're clones of the same person. I think there's like the real person, then we're all just kind of cloned, and we might look a little bit different here or there. Anyway, so that was glitches
and time jumps.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys have some, so reach out because I love hearing about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love this stuff too.
Yeah, so what should we talk about next? We literally have so many things.
I don't know. Should we get into some little conspiracy?
Oh my gosh,
theories?
should we? Yeah.
We don't have to go super crazy, but
do
just some that
you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? Because my stuff requires reading.
Well, most of my stuff is pretty short.
Okay, let's do yours because we might actually talk a lot about it.
Okay,
and then we'll see where we're at.
So
mine in later.
One that I was researching that I kind of already knew about but didn't know a lot about was how some people think chemtrails, and that's basically aircraft that lets off the steam from the back. There's a theory that it's actually from the government. It's called SLAP, Secret Large Scale Atmospheric Program. And it's basically that the chemtrails consist of biological agents or toxic mix of aluminum, strontium, and barium. And it's put on by the government to kind of toxify, if that's even a word, our air.
I believe it. I did a college essay on this.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, on chemtrails.
It's so interesting.
Yeah,
because we see it all the time, and it's like
because if it's a regular aircraft trail, it's supposed to just dissipate really fast. Like you'll see it, and then it's supposed to go away. But these ones just stay.
Yeah, they stay for a long time.
They stay for a really long time.
Or even cloud seeding. I think is really weird.
Yeah,
that some places do that. Even in different countries, they do cloud seeding.
Sometimes I think that we're just a big experiment. That's what I think. I think that we were put on here, and the aliens or whoever, they're just watching us. They're just trying to see, like, what happens if we do this
Right.
now. And then I think this is all what I think. I think the government, they're a bunch of aliens.
Right.
They're reptilians. And yeah, I don't think that they actually really care. I think about us. They're like, well, let's put some bad chemicals in the air.
And kind of see what happens.
Let's just see what happens. See how they react.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think we're one big experiment. I really realized that one time when I did shrooms, because I looked up at this guy and I just felt like I was in a dome.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
And there's a conspiracy about that too.
Yeah,
But I
know.
didn't research that, so we're not going to talk about that too much today.
Yeah, and it looked glitchy.
That's so weird.
The way that the sky looked, it looked pixelated. It was very dome shaped. I mean, I know it's a dome. I mean, we're, sitting, it's the earth is round.
Well, we are in a round.
Yeah,
dome,
but some people could say that it's flat.
Yeah.
Which is another conspiracy theory. I don't believe in that. But anyways, when I was on shrooms and I was looking up to the sky, it looked very glitchy. Mm-hmm. It just made me think, are people watching us? And I don't know. It's just very weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird.
Especially being on mushrooms. It's like your mind is so open to everything.
Yeah.
That, you could very well see some weird stuff. Like, and like the ground moving or the trees like dissipating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then it makes me think that why is it that this is back to shrooms. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm like this drug addict or I do this all. I haven't done shrooms in 2 years. Okay. If anybody knows me, I'm the most boring person ever. I rarely drink. I rarely smoke weed. Like, I don't really do that much of it. But one time when I was doing shrooms, I think I took just too much of this certain kind of shroom, and I was seeing things that was not normal. I sounded like a homeless person. I was seeing symbols.
I remember the thing that you showed me that you wrote down.
I was seeing symbols. I was trying to write down what I was seeing, and it was very symbolic. Mm-hmm. And it was also it looked like a scripture. It was weird. But it made me think, what if homeless people, that sound crazy, are actually seeing the real world?
Sometimes I think that too.
And they sound crazy because they're like, oh my God. And then they're getting mad at us for not seeing what they see, but they're actually really seeing the real stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we're the ones that are jaded.
I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie Lucy?
No.
With Scarlett Johansson?
No, but I feel like I should.
I think you should.
Okay.
You should watch it and we should talk about it.
Okay, well, you also have to watch Now and Then.
Okay.
And The First Wives Club. Okay, so if I'm going to watch that, then you have to watch these.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of about something similar to that.
Okay.
So I don't want to give too much away in case we do an episode on that.
Okay.
So.
Ooh, we should.
But if you've watched Lucy out there, it's a pretty interesting movie.
That's crazy.
It's got Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway.
Me too.
So that's just one of the theories that I was kind of looking more into. Should I do another one?
Yeah, do another one. I love it.
So we all know that there's a theory about John Lennon passing away and whoever killed him. But I didn't know that there was a theory about Paul McCartney also. So there's this whole theory called Paul is Dead. And they basically think that he died in a car crash and he was replaced by someone. And that someone, his name is William Shears Campbell. Mm-hmm. And he's been just acting as Paul McCartney this whole time.
That's so weird.
I know.
That also is like the Avril Lavigne one.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard about that. Sorry, I want to make sure I have the
Avril Lavigne one.
Yeah, I want to make sure I have the names right. It's believed, some people, the conspiracy people, think that Avril Lavigne died and she was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Mandela.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's weird about all of that is I love the first album, the Complicated album. Loved it, right? Mm-hmm. She had this very emo, grungy vibe about her. But then when she started coming out with other music, I did think she changed. But I didn't know about this until my my old manager brought it up because
Yeah.
I go, I'm gonna go see Avril Lavigne. She goes, oh, she's like, let's talk about conspiracy theories, and that's how I found out about it. I had no idea, but then I don't know. I'm kind of believe it.
Well, a lot of people think Britney Spears isn't Britney Spears,
Dude,
too.
I don't think Britney Spears is Britney Spears either.
It's so weird.
I mean, even her teeth.
That's
are
the one
different.
thing that people think. Well, a lot of people think she's like a deep fake.
Yeah.
You've heard of that,
No,
right?
I don't know what that
A
is.
deep fake is where it's like an AI thing.
Okay.
It's where they take somebody who has like a similar body type to the person they're trying to mimic, and they basically like AI their face in videos.
Oh my God.
So there's
so
a
weird.
lot of videos about Britney Spears and deep fake, and people will literally slow it down and kind of look at her teeth because it's hard to mimic mouths for some reason. And they'll look at her teeth and her mouth and her tongue, and they'll notice that sometimes her tongue will disappear in certain videos if you slow it down
I'm gonna
enough.
do that. I'm doing
that.
that.
Do some deep fake research. But there's a lot of stuff like that. That's super
crazy.
weird. But she's one of the main ones that they talk
It's so
about.
sad. I will go down a rabbit hole with Britney Spears sometimes. I swear to God, I will. I will spend a ridiculous amount of hours just watching her stuff of when she was back in the day.
Yeah.
And how just normal and polite and professional she was. And then just the downfall. And then even with this conservatorship, she's just, I don't know. I don't think she's free. You think
she's still being controlled?
I think so.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, she's still doing her like dance videos in her house.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Her dance videos
and she's not even a good dancer in the dance videos, which is weirder because she used to be such a good dancer.
Yeah, it's just a whole weird situation.
Yeah.
Her situation's super weird to me.
Bizarre.
It makes
me
sad.
Really sad.
Yeah.
I know. I wonder what Justin thinks about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if he even cares.
Like if he cares, is he sad?
Is he just like, whatever?
Yeah, but he shouldn't be because,
Yeah.
Did you read her book?
I listened to it. I audiobooked it. I didn't make it all the way through it. I think I got maybe 80% through.
Yeah.
But I got the gist of it. So
yeah. Crazy, man. Okay, so what other ones do you have? I love all this.
Well, I have one about predictive programming. So that's basically what The Simpsons is thought to have been.
Oh, is it like how The Simpsons has predicted so much stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really have. It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of a level of brainwashing where you put something out there in the universe and it kind of brainwashes you to think that it was already predicted before.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I didn't do a whole lot about it, but I just thought it was interesting because there are so many times where I see videos about The Simpsons predicting stuff.
Yeah.
And all of us being like, oh my God, I can't believe they said this 20 years ago and now it's happening. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Dude, I love The Simpsons.
Yeah. I know you guys watch The Simpsons a lot.
Me too. We're a Simpsons family. And I'm actually getting a Lisa Simpson tattoo.
You are?
I am. Because Jordan loves Lisa Simpson.
That's going to be really cute.
Yeah.
I love that. Where are you going to get it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the hardest part. I have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think you should. That's really cute. Because you guys are totally a Simpsons
We are.
family.
And you know what? And then when I was a child, I grew up with The Simpsons too. So I just pass it down.
Yeah, you passed it to everybody.
It's funny because it's on Disney Plus and it is not appropriate. They talk about everything.
There's a lot of stuff on Disney Plus that is not Disney
appropriate.
Yeah. But they own a bunch of stuff now. So,
yeah,
it just is what it is. So,
yeah.
Another one I had was something that I just happened to come across that I thought was weird. It's about animal spying. So there's an idea that animals were used to either conduct espionage or attack people. Yeah.
What the hell?
So when you hear about different attacks, like shark attacks that happened multiple times, or just different random animal attacks, that is actually a conspiracy theory as well.
Weird.
To some people, yeah.
Weird.
I know.
Okay, so I have like a weird story.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever saw these videos on social media, but there's videos of birds just being still in the air. Have you ever seen those?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, I forgot like what it's called, but but my husband is explaining like, oh no, they're just like kind of like riding the wave of the whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the correct terminology for any of this, so I hope you understand what I'm talking about. But it just looks like a bird just like stuck.
I've
frozen.
seen videos of that.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So me and my husband were hiking and I saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh my God. I go, look, the bird is frozen. What the F? And he, you know, always has an explanation for everything because, you know, he doesn't believe in anything. So he's like, oh, no, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And, but I took a picture of it. I have a picture of it somewhere and it's on my camera or somewhere. And this is the crazy thing. So I took a picture of it and I also took like a video of it. And I don't remember if it was on the picture or the video, but there was a light beam.
What the heck?
I know. There was a light beam down on the bird and it was like stuck where this light beam was at.
It's aliens.
I swear to God, a freaking alien light beam was on the bird.
That's
and
so
then
random.
Yeah. I'm going to find that too and put that up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very bizarre.
That is super weird.
I have a lot of things that I don't know, my husband always has explanations for, but I just don't believe it. Like, nope, that's not it. It was it was aliens.
It was aliens.
See,
they're not riding the wave. It was aliens.
It was aliens. Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those are a few that I just thought were interesting.
Yeah.
Just looking into everything. But yeah, you should share some.
Okay, I have a story. Okay, it's kind of lengthy. Okay. So let me pull up my story for you. It is a conspiracy theory. It's called the Philadelphia Experiment.
I've never actually heard of this one.
Neither have I. That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
It was in 1943. So this conspiracy theory is one of the most mind-bending tales in modern folklore and blends science fiction, military secrecy, and the supernatural. Like, I love a good military story.
That's a lot of different stuff.
I know. So this is the story, though.
Okay.
The story of the Philadelphia experiment claims that during World War II, the U.S. Navy conducted a secret experiment aboard the USS Eldridge, a naval ship, in an effort to make it invisible to radar. Oh. But according to the theory, something went terribly wrong during the experiment, leading to unbelievable consequences.
Okay.
It says the official story is that the experiment was designed to test a device called the unified field theory, which was thought to manipulate electromagnetic fields to render objects invisible. The idea was inspired by Albert Einstein. Although there's no evidence that he had any involvement with such a project, the supposed goal was to make military ships look invisible to their enemy on radar.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, which I do feel like is something the military would try to do, right? Yeah, I could like, totally why wouldn't you try and figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So this, I guess, according to conspiracy theorists, was like achieved, but at a horrific cost. So what they said, the bizarre aftermath was there was teleportation. So the ship was said to have not only become invisible, but also teleport from Philadelphia to Virginia and back. This phenomenon was reportedly a strange time distortion, with some crew members disappearing for years and then reappearing.
What the heck?
Yeah. And then it also said that some of the members fused to the ship's metal structure. And I was like, okay.
That does not sound good.
It says disturbing effects on the crew. According to the conspiracy theory, the crew members aboard the USS Eldridge experienced bizarre and horrific side effects. Some men were said to have become disoriented, while others allegedly suffered physical disfigurement or became mentally unhinged after the experiment. The most chilling accounts include stories of sailors becoming fused into the ship's metal, or vanishing entirely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Yeah. So that was just kind of one of the stories that I had picked up. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, like, that's interesting.
Yeah, because it's like you wouldn't really put it past the government to try something like that.
For sure.
But the fact that so many people had experienced kind of side effects from it is like on another level.
And I forgot. I don't know what the airplane was called, but there have been stories of airplane or maybe several airplanes where people have just disappeared, and they could never find the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't on radar anymore, and it just vanished
Into thin air.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even think about until just now.
I know we should have talked about that. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Well, we're talking about it now.
Right? We'll have to do another episode where we deep dive.
Maybe just on like that.
On the Bermuda Triangle. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, because there's a lot of crazy stuff about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know, but that was just like one of the stories I thought, oh, that's interesting because I've never heard about that one. There's also another conspiracy theory about the Denver airport and how it's a possible Illuminati like area.
Like a hub?
Yeah, like their hub.
That's so
They
weird.
also have bizarre artwork too at the Denver airport.
Have you been there?
I haven't, but I looked it up.
Yeah.
And they have like very like disturbing images of artwork.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the Denver airport. We'll have to.
Maybe we just take a trip to the Denver airport.
Well, we have some friends that live close to there.
Oh, we do.
So we have to visit them.
Yes.
And then we'll go through the Denver airport.
Yes.
And look at the images.
Yes.
Ooh.
We're coming for you, Mr. Bags.
There's a lot of things that
but I do think that the government does hide a lot of stuff.
Oh, for sure.
At this point with social media, and then also, okay, actually speaking of social media, don't you think it was weird that they wanted just to get rid of TikTok in the United States?
Yeah.
It's because they're hiding stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want us to know.
They don't want us to know what everybody else knows.
Yeah.
That's outside of the US, that's on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've learned a lot of different stuff on TikTok from different people in countries.
I think that with social media, it's getting so out of control for them that I think that they're going to have to realize that they're going to have to just open up about some stuff.
Right. Because they're trying to censor it.
Like Area 51.
Yeah.
Area 51.
Yeah. Especially us living here. We know about Area 51. We've always known. Yeah. But to be like, it doesn't exist, and then to finally come out and say, okay, it does exist.
Or like when they did admit that about the UAPs and all of that, it was like a few years ago. They brought it out, and it was like so just la 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 whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, this is like a big thing. Like we should make this a big thing that you have admitted that. I mean, they changed it. It's like UFOs, but they're like, no, there are UAPs that we don't know. We don't know. We have no explanation about. We don't know if it's from another country. We don't know.
Yeah.
They need to talk to us about it. I mean, I really think that there's aliens.
Oh, I can't say there's definitely, but
there has to be something.
There has to be more than just us.
Yeah, and maybe it may not look just like us, but I mean, there's so many planets and galaxies and universes, and just like it's just so big that
we can't be the only ones.
Yeah,
we just can't.
Or just everything. Everything is just so bizarre. The fact that there was freaking dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was dinosaurs because they have bones to prove that there were dinosaurs. But isn't that trippy that there were these huge things here?
Yeah.
And we were kind of the rodent. I don't even think we were there. We weren't even there. I have to go back to school now. I don't even think we were there for a while. It was just the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
We came later.
And then they were just extinct.
And then they just disappeared because of meteorite.
Yeah.
That scares me.
But then there's people who say that certain birds are actually were around during like prehistoric times.
Yeah.
So how did they survive?
Exactly.
So that's another question.
And how did it just wipe out all of them?
Yeah.
All of them?
Every single one.
Yeah. We haven't even made it. We haven't even covered the ocean. We have only researched a small amount.
I was literally just going to say that. There's a whole
world
system down in the ocean that we don't even know anything about.
Yeah.
So
it is
wild.
Bizarre. And I mean, and maybe the government knows some stuff, but they're not going to share that with us.
And just the fact that we can't, as humans, safely get down that far.
I know.
So there's a possibility that we will never know what's going on.
And the fact that we are floating in space. We're like to be honest, we're like basically a grain of sand.
Yeah.
Just
in
floating.
comparison to everything else. It's so
it trips
crazy.
me out. And then sometimes I start to think, is space even real? You know, all the things.
There's theories about that.
Because they even say, like, did we really, you know, go on the moon?
Yeah, that's a theory as well.
Yeah.
That it was all faked.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's enough people who have been to space.
Yeah.
They can't all just be bullshitting.
I hope not.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe they are. But I believe that space is real.
I'd like to believe space is real too, but it just scares me.
Because it's unknown.
It is.
It's
it
like
scares me that we're just floating.
We're just hanging out, living.
Yeah.
So hashtag live your life.
I know. There was another theory I saw. I didn't look into it, but it said something about how we're actually are in a black hole.
Oh.
Earth is in a black hole.
Oh, I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It said like back in 2012 we were actually sucked into a black hole. I don't know. Again, I didn't research it. I just kind of was like, don't want to look into that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like we said earlier, there's just so many things.
So many things.
One of the really popular ones for us that we wanted to talk about is the Mandela Effect.
The Mandela Effect.
The Mandela Effect.
Yeah, this is a good one. I'm already prepping for that right now. I'm getting my stuff ready so we can talk about it.
I feel like a lot of people know about the Mandela Effect and what it is, but I think you should talk about kind of how it started. And
I did some research, you guys. Look at me.
I love that.
Okay, so the term Mandela Effect was coined by Fiona Broome in 2009. So this is actually pretty new.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Yeah. Broome is a paranormal researcher and author. Broome discovered that she and many others falsely remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. She even recalled Mandela's widow's speech in riots in some cities. Broome discovered the truth about Mandela's death during a conference where she had the same false memory. I don't remember any of that, but that was just... Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I think we were just too young to know about that, but I have heard about that, and that's why they call it that, because maybe that was one of the first things where everybody had this false memory of something.
Yeah, because that's what it explains. It says the Mandela Effect is a psychological phenomenon that describes when a large group of people misremember a specific event or detail. It's an instance of collective false memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
and we're going to play a game.
Yes.
Of it.
We're going to have a little game where we say one of the Mandela effects that we have or possibly haven't heard of.
Yeah.
And decide which one is the real one.
Yeah.
So, should we get started?
Let's get started.
Okay. So, one of the, I think, more popular ones is the Bernstein Bears.
Yes.
So, is it spelled with the A-I-N or is it spelled with the E-I-N?
So, I mean, I know this one, but I always remember it with the E.
I do too.
Yeah.
But it is the A-I-N.
That's weird.
So, I mean, I've tried to look at
Bernstein,
but
I thought it was I thought it was like they were like Jewish bears. You know what I mean?
Bernstein Bears.
The Bernstein Bears. Yeah. Bernstein Law. You know what I mean? Like it was just no one. Bernstein. Bears. The Bernstein Bears.
Yeah. So
weird.
Yeah, it's actually spelled with the A-I-N.
Don't like that.
I've tried to look at different books I had from when I was a kid to see if it had the actual name on it, and none of my books have the name on it. So I'm a little bummed about that.
What the hell?
I know. I have some older books too.
That's freaking crazy.
So
okay, I have one for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
When you think about like what he wears, does he have suspenders or not have suspenders?
I don't know. I never thought of it.
Because, you know, he has shorts.
Yeah.
And do you remember what color they are?
Are they black?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, they're red.
Okay.
Okay, but like...
I'm terrible then.
Yeah, they're red, but you don't know if you remember if he has suspenders or not?
If I had to take a guess, I would say that he does.
See, I thought he does too, but he doesn't.
Oh.
I always thought he had suspenders on. He's just like literally no shirt on. And he just wears shorts.
Oh, interesting.
It's really weird.
I don't really I like Disney, but
Yeah.
I'm not a Disney fanatic.
Yeah.
So that's not really something I would have ever paid attention
Well,
to.
I don't know. When I think about Mickey Mouse, I think in his outfit, I think, oh, he has suspenders on with his shorts.
Yeah.
Because he has buttons.
Yeah.
So I thought the suspenders go over and hook to the buttons.
Interesting. So here's another one that's
Okay.
kind of not necessarily related to Disney, but related to a character. It is Curious George.
Okay.
Does he have a tail or does he not have a tail?
I mean, I know this one too, but like I always thought he had a tail.
I think I just always assumed he had a tail.
Because monkeys have tails.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. But he doesn't have a tail.
Yeah. I know.
So.
Well, and you probably know this one too. But I mean, this is again for the listeners that are like, I don't know, this is new for me.
Right.
Let's talk about the Fruit of the Loom.
Oh, I actually wrote that one down.
Yeah.
So I originally thought that there was the cornucopia.
No, me too. I remember the cornucopia.
Yeah.
I remember. And it's not like cornucopias are really popular or anybody has a cornucopia at their house. But that's why I remember Fruit of the Loom was because I remember it was like a basket, cone-shaped basket with fruit coming out of it. Yeah. I remember that.
And people literally have like old things that have it on there. So how can they claim that it never existed if people have it?
It was there. Yeah. It was freaking there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked this one up today. Okay, in the music video with Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again, when she's in her red outfit, don't you remember a mic? She had like a mic headset.
I feel like I remember a performance where she had a mic headset, but I don't remember the video having a mic headset. Okay,
because it says that there was no headset. But see, I thought I remembered the headset. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's because of a performance.
I think
because I remember people dressing up like Britney Spears and they had the headset.
They always had the mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it was in a performance.
Okay, so you might be right on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, I got another one. You might have this one too.
Okay.
The Monopoly Man. And his monocle.
I always thought he had the monocle.
Me too.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Yeah. That one's
because we're getting it mixed up with Mr. Peanut, but I swear to God, he had it.
Yeah.
Like I would bet money on that he had it.
But he does not.
Because he's like a rich man, you know?
You know what? I actually have a really old version of Monopoly at my house.
Yeah.
I got it from a consignment store and it had all the pieces. It's like an old, like classic version. I'm going to look at it today.
At it.
And I'm going to
let me know if the monocle's there.
Yeah. I have one too about Looney Tunes. Is it spelled Tunes or Too?
See, I always thought it was Toons.
It is Tunes with the double O.
Yeah.
But there are some people that think it's Tunes.
Yeah.
So that's another one that's like, okay, how do people think this?
I know.
Yeah. Another one, Jif or Jiffy.
Oh yeah, see, I remember even saying Jiffy. I mean,
I do too.
I'm not a big peanut butter person, but I remember saying, oh, Jiffy peanut butter.
So sometimes I wonder if we get it confused with like Jiffy Lube, you know? But I always remember saying Jiffy peanut butter also, but it's just Jif. So, yeah.
It's weird that a lot of us remember it the same way too. It's just weird. It's just super weird.
Well, we all have false memory syndrome or
unless
whatever.
That's what the government wants us to know. They're like, no, you just don't remember. It's like going back to our spooky episode when I was telling you about the sleep paralysis. This could, I guess, be like a conspiracy theory, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
There's like people all over the world that claim that they see something when they're going under sleep paralysis. You know, they feel like a heavy presence on their body goes paralyzed. Some people have said they've seen like kind of like a witchy lady. Some people have said that they've seen like a grim reaper.
I've heard the grim reaper or a demon.
Yeah, or a demon. But scientists and doctors and all these people are just like, oh no, you were dreaming, you were in REM state or something.
So
I'm like,
weird.
That's weird. I didn't know that was a thing until after it happened to me. And then when I did my research, I thought, oh my God, is this crazy that this has happened to other people too? But they're telling all of us, no, you were dreaming.
Yeah. No,
I
don't
was
think
fully
so.
awake and fully aware that this is not normal.
And even if we were dreaming, that's a whole different type of
You would
dream.
think that, you would think that if your body goes paralyzed, I mean, it feels like an elephant sitting on you. I mean, it feels heavy.
Yeah, like you cannot move.
You cannot move. I mean, you're going to wake up. That's how it usually starts, is you feel something heavy on you. You can't move your body and you're awake. And now you're seeing things, but I don't know. It's probably just the government being like, I don't want you to know that there's like other things out there. So we're just going to give you this explanation and make you seem like you're not crazy, but you're crazy. But we're all really seeing stuff.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a super weird
I
one.
do think that there are other dimensions.
I think so too.
Yeah.
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 So,
well, I mean, I don't know, but I just want to know, like, just tell us.
Yeah.
Just tell us already. But I don't know, this could be an unsolved thing, which kind of goes in with what we're talking about today. I was staying at my mother-in-law's house a few years ago. And of course, all the weird stuff always happens when I'm on my back. Yeah. I'm on my back, and these 3 balls of light like came through her room.
Okay.
And they were small. They were really little. And there's 3 of them. And I opened my eyes and I saw them staring at me. They were just like hovering, staring at me. And then I watched them like go out through the wall and then leave.
That's really weird.
And I thought, there's no way this was a dream, because the setting took place of, I was in her bedroom, the lights were off. I wake up a lot in the middle of the night. But I just saw these balls of light just staring at me.
That's so creepy.
It's very unsolved.
So how did you feel? Did you feel scared, or did you feel like, what did you feel?
It was weird, because the next day I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I felt weird, but I remember just going back to bed. Just being like, that was weird, and I went back to bed. You know, when my mom was little, she saw some balls of light in her backyard.
Ooh.
Yeah, there were different colors though. It was like red, green, and maybe like a gold color.
I wonder what the colors mean.
Yeah, she says she saw them hopping from like fence to fence, but they stared at her for a little bit.
Weird.
Yeah, she says she was about 5 years old.
So when you say stare, do you mean they just stop and hover?
Yeah, stop,
or do you
hover.
Actually see something?
No,
in
like
them?
Stop, hover, and you can just tell, like, I'm literally looking at you, and you can just feel you're looking at me.
Okay.
It was one of those situations.
That's so creepy.
But I do think that the red balls in my mother-in-law's house, I don't know how to explain that. That was a very unexplained, unsolved mystery.
Unexplained circumstance.
And then that's why I feel like sometimes I'm getting observed. Sometimes I talk to my husband and then I pretend I'm like talking to an audience because I'm like, well, someone's watching me probably. So
right. They're always listening.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Like right now, you guys are listening to us. Yeah. Watching us. Observing
Somebody's
us.
Watching.
It's like the Truman Show. Freaking scary. But yeah, I don't know. It's all crazy to me. I love it. I could talk about this stuff forever.
I know.
And I love connecting with other people that are into this stuff too, because I'm, you can say whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you.
Yeah.
No,
I totally agree.
And then there's the others that are just not into this stuff at all. They like their facts,
fact-based.
Yeah, they're very fact-based. Like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what if?
I just like the idea of it being like plausible.
Yeah.
Because there are facts.
Yeah.
I do believe in facts, obviously. But there are things that are unexplained. So
yeah,
I think it's good to talk about.
Yeah, and then here I am being like, you don't even really need to tell me the facts. I just will be like, oh my God, yes.
There are things
I am such a conspiracy theory. I am. I love it.
There are things that I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some things that are, like we said earlier, you just can't explain it.
I'm very easily persuaded. So if you guys want to sell me on anything,
don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
I will probably give you my money.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
But I think this is like a good way to end. I don't think I have really anything else to say.
Me neither.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I thought it was
fun. This was a fun one for us.
And I I just love it. I love doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
So we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do.
And
So we'll figure it out.
We're
And it'll
gonna
be a
figure
good
it out.
one.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Our crazy stories. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and review us on your favorite podcast platform.
And follow us on social media for even more fun content and behind-the-scenes looks.
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.